in North Carolina, devastated and grieving. But people from all over have stepped up to help. Tonight, we hear from a man who traded his wheels for wings in the middle of the chaos. NASCAR legend Greg Biffle, better known as Number 16, was one of the first civilian pilots to fly straight into the aftermath, helping save lives. Now, nearly a year later, he sits down with WFMO News 2's Megan Malaris to show us how he became an angel in the sky.
The storm was fast and furious. In late September 2024, Hurricane Helene closed in on the last left turn.
Get down!
Barreling for the finish line. Western North Carolina. A couple hours away in quiet Mooresville, a race against time began with a text.
September 28th, right there it is. Got this from a friend. You want to go flying today?
It was the first caution of what was to come for NASCAR legend Greg Biffle, a master of brakes who also happens to have blades.
When I got hired by Jack Roush, he was a huge aviation nut, which sparked my interest and finally started taking flight lessons.
For years, Biffle flew to racetracks to avoid traffic. Then, after semi-retirement, he sold his bird.
And it was just bugging me and burning me up.
All while fate was still watching from the grandstands.
I bought it about 6 months or so prior to Hurricane Helene.
Someone of faith might say it was meant to be, like God gave you that helicopter at the right time.
It still gives me goosebumps thinking about it. How it all, what if this wouldn't happen and that and that and that, just how everything came together.
All because of that initial text request for a pilot to help one family trapped in Banner Elk.
They were out of formula, diapers, and the road was washed out. Then my wife came up and said, "Are you gonna go?" is all she said. And I just felt like if I don't go, who's going to?
So you did go. What did you see when you got there?
The weather was really bad.
And a Facebook post he had made before takeoff was brewing a storm of its own.
I got 4,000, 5,000 messages within an hour and a half. I haven't heard from my parents. I haven't heard from my brother, sister, or neighbor, or grandparents, or relative.
From draft to drift, Biffle faced familiar danger, threading through treacherous terrain as tight as bumpers at Daytona.
There's no recollection of a road, an embankment, no ledge, no bridge, no anything for miles down these canyons. And we see people walking with backpacks, trying to get out.
Index cards with rough coordinates acting as pace notes. One mission turned into 6 to 8 a day for 13 days, pulling out people while dropping off food, medicine, and Starlink satellites.
So the Starlink came up, their phones came on, and they literally started talking to their parents. And it's kind of chilling to think about that no one knew whether they were still alive or not.
The satellites also helped Biffle scour his social media for more tips.
And all of a sudden, I find myself at like almost the center of this crisis management.
He needed more eyes in the sky. Nonprofit Operation Airdrop got hundreds of volunteer pilots to search tricky terrain where military Blackhawks and Chinooks couldn't land. Tabor Hyde is an American Airlines commercial pilot who grew up near Chimney Rock.
It really hit close to home and personal. I had one family, their house was in a landslide falling off the mountain, and the dad was waving a red flag on the roof. I loaded the kids up first and flew them down the mountain about a mile away and left them in a field. It was like, do not move, stay right here. I'm gonna come back and get your parents. Once we got them off of there, 5 minutes later, their house was gone.
So many close calls, so much desperation.
I was in probably some of the most difficult terrain that we had been in. We had someone that needed insulin. I catch out of the corner of my eye, on the very bottom of this basin, I think I see a flash. So we circled around, back around, and sure enough, we see this guy at the very bottom of this ravine with a mirror that was flashing us. If he wouldn't have had that mirror, there's no way we would have saw him.
On the track, a delay in the pit can cost you the race, right? But in the air, a delay getting up can cost a life.
The hardest thing was When I went home at night and landed in the dark, because we just couldn't fly anymore, was my mind wouldn't shut off. I'm sitting there at my counter, looking through my phone, just overwhelmed. Like, what am I gonna do next?
Eventually, his helicopter missions turned to ground support. Still, a year later, he feels he hasn't crossed the wire of this storm.
I wish I was flying now, but I spent a tremendous amount of time sitting in this seat.
He went back to the mountains at Easter.
The most fulfilling thing that I could do was drop 4,000 Easter eggs.
And since Helene, he keeps essentials close, just in case.
Benadryl was a huge request.
How do you think your experience in NASCAR and racing in general really aided in your ability to do this and do it well?
There's no, we're going to be late, or we're not going to get done in time. There are no obstacles in front of us that we can't accomplish.
No checkered flag, no victory lap in Helene. Simply hope at the stripe. Because heroes who don't wear capes figured out how to fly. Megan Maleris, WFMY News 2.